Hello guys, we're going to start with the L'Oreal True Match foundation. I think my shade is W4. I like this foundation because it's nice and thin for everyday wear. It doesn't feel too cakey or anything, but it gives pretty good coverage. So because it doesn't have a pump, I just kind of shake it onto my fingers and do the dots all over my face, and then I will go back and blend in with the Beauty Blender, which is that egg-shaped sponge there. If you haven't heard of that, it's very popular. You have to get it wet and wring it out, so it's kind of just like a damp sponge, and then you pat it all over your face like this. It's nice because it really thins out foundations and it makes it look like your natural skin. Even if it is like a more matte foundation, it will really soften the finish of it, so it looks really nice even with thicker foundations or thinner foundations. It works really well for just about anything, including concealers. So speaking of concealers, I will be using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. This is the one with the sponge on the top, so you just have to click it up a few times. You can kind of dab it under the eye area. I like to do all under the eye, the inner corner to the outer corner, and then kind of down the side of the nose, so it's kind of that triangle shape. It helps to illuminate the whole middle part of your face and makes the brightness look more natural as opposed to like you're just trying to conceal under eye darkness. So once that's kind of patted on there, I blend it a little bit further with the sharper end, the pointed end of the Beauty Blender. That pointed end kind of allows you to get closer to the eye area, but still blend it really smoothly. Then to make sure everything stays, we want to set it. I just have this baked powder from the Sephora collection. You can use any kind of light colored powder. I think this is the second lightest shade that I have. You don't want to use anything that's going to be too matte underneath your eyes because you want to leave some of the hydration. Otherwise that can start to look cakey. So a baked formula powder is really nice. I just have a tiny powder brush there, so you can blend that with whatever. But it helps to set the concealer and make it last. Now we're moving on to eyes. I'm using a black eyeshadow. You can use any dark shade with that angled liner brush there. It's got an angle to it and it's nice and flat, so it allows you to get really close to your lash line. Like I said, any dark shade will do, brown or navy, whatever you prefer. It just helps to add definition to the eyes without, being as heavy as a cream eyeliner or liquid eyeliner, pencil. It's just kind of a more subtle way to define, so you can't really tell there's a line there, but it just makes your lashes look thicker. That's also a good tip if you're a beginner with eyeliner. This is kind of a subtle way to get yourself used to what it looks like and what it feels like applying an eyeliner without worrying about, messing up with something like a liquid liner where it's really hard to remove once it dries. I also take a little bit of that and smudge it underneath the lower lash line, just maybe the outer third of the eyes. Again, just to make the lashes look a little bit thicker along the bottom. My favorite time, brow time. I'm using the Tarte Brow Mousse with the brush that it came with. Not everybody likes to do their brows or is used to doing their brows, so you can skip this step if you don't need to do it. I just like to use the flat side of the brush and kind of trace along the top side of the natural hairline, and you can kind of extend your arch or, extend the tail of your brow, however you feel like you need to alter your brow, and then kind of slowly do light hair-like strokes downward until you get the desired thickness, and then kind of flip the brush to the flat side to get the kind of flatter side of the inner corner like that, and then use the spoolie on the other end of that brush to kind of comb through, and that takes away some of that harsh kind of drawn on look and makes it look more hair-like. Next comes the cheek color. This is a Milani bronzer. It's got kind of a more matte, a cooler toned shade on the left side, and then kind of a shimmery, warmer shade on the right side. I do kind of a light contour here with the more matte shade. So I kind of do my fish face there and suck it in, kind of run a line up and down the cheek, and then go back with circular motions to kind of blend it in. And then once that's done, I kind of do a mix of both colors and run that around the entire outside part of your face to warm up the rest of your complexion. So using the contour color, you always want to use something that's matte. You don't want to put any shimmer in the contour because you're trying to create shadow, and shadow should not have shimmer in it. Then for my blush, I'm using Dallas from Benefit. It's a pretty neutral but slightly rosy shade, good for every day, and an angled blush brush. And then that will sit kind of more on top of where the contour bronzer went, more on the apple of your cheek, kind of the rounded part. You just want to keep it, a little ways away from your nose so it doesn't just look like you have a cold or something. And then you have an empty powder brush there, no product applied to it. I just go back in circular motions to blend in both of those cheek colors. Then I'm also using that smaller powder brush from earlier, no excess product applied there, just to kind of set over the eyes. My eyelids tend to get a little bit oily throughout the day, so putting a little bit of powder on there helps to kind of slow that at least. Next comes the lips. I'm using just the Baby Lips from Maybelline. It's basically just a tinted lip balm. Gives your lips a little bit of color without having to worry about being as precise as you are with a lipstick. Then just with basic eyelash curler, going in to curl your lashes. My lashes tend to be pretty straight, but again, you can skip this step if you've got kind of a natural curl to your lashes. Then I always like to go in with an eyelash primer. That one obviously is from Smashbox. It helps to just kind of condition your lashes, especially if you're using a waterproof mascara. This is a good idea because waterproof mascaras can be a little bit drying on your eyelashes. So using the primer can kind of help keep your lashes healthy and prevent them from becoming too brittle. Then I'm using the Bare Essentials Lash Domination Mascara. This is one of those ones that's got kind of the rubbery style comb bristles, but it's really good at thickening, so it's kind of nice to have the separation of the comb plus the thickening formula. I've been using it quite a bit lately. And then a second mascara, the Rimmel Lash Accelerator. It's got a much smaller brush to it. I like to do that to kind of just feather out the lashes, make them look a little bit longer. You also notice I do wiggle back and forth at the root of my lashes as close as I can get, and then kind of pull the brush outward. That helps to kind of coat all the sides of your lashes and keep them nice and separated. So after the mascara and cleaning up any minor smudges you have there, I go back and blend one more time with an empty powder brush to make sure there's no harsh edges anywhere. And that should be it. That's kind of my quick everyday makeup look. It's enough to make you look kind of polished and perfected without being too heavy and, cakey looking. So I hope you liked it.